In today's video, we are going to be giving you one of the keys to understanding smart money trading, and that is changes of character, right? So the theory behind a change of character, if you already understand the theory of supply and demand, which if you haven't already, go and check out our previous videos on supply and demand. Essentially, at one point in time, there is always one party in control of the market, right? Whether it be supply or demand. Now, when we have a change of character, essentially what that means is one of the parties in control has now been flipped by the other. So for example, supply is in control and it has been broken by demand. That is a change of character, and the vice versa is also. So let's visualize this first down here. So we can see that price is trending to the upside. Now, just before we start breaking things, I'm going to call this is our demand, and this is our supply. This is our demand. This is our supply. This is our demand. And then price does this. So we can see that price is moving in an uptrend. And we can see that we have demand respected, supply taken out. That means demand is in control. There is more demand than there is supply, thus price is increasing. Supply gets taken out by demand, more demand. Price pushes down, gives a new, this is the demand level that puts in the high. And then when we take that out, that is a change of character, right? That is our change of character, chalk. And then more than likely, we'll have some level of supply left behind. And this is our entry model, right? And there is this supply level, essentially, that tagged us in and melted. So that's the change of character, right? Demand is in control. Supply tries to take control, fails, respects demand. Supply fails, respects demand. Supply fails, respects demand. Demand fails, respects supply. And that's where we understand, okay, price is reversing, so to speak. Now, in one of our recent videos, we made a video on why change of character doesn't work. And it's not that change of character doesn't work, it's the way that a lot of people in smart money are using changes of characters, which will make it not work. Highly recommend going to check that video out, because if you do have any questions, I'm sure that video will clear them up. So let's get into some actual price action. Let's move on to the charts. So we can see that price is making a series of lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and lower lows. So price has a bearish order flow. Now we can see supply level number one. This is our area of unmitigated supply. Comes back, gets mitigated, and then we have a break of structure. Now that break of structure comes from this level of supply, which already is mitigated, and the next area of supply is in here. More than likely the actual wick, right? I'm gonna bring a YouTube video on that. I know a lot of people have been asking why to use wicks. I will definitely be bringing a YouTube video on that. Be patient. But here's something interesting, right? Because we have supply zone puts in a low, supply zone puts in a low. This is a supply zone. This is also a supply zone. And this supply zone right here is the supply zone that put in the lowest point. So when price breaks that demand, when price breaks that supply zone, that is called a change of character, right? Because demand has taken control of the market, thus price is increasing. And you might ask, well, why then, if demand is now in control, why is price coming back down? Well, that's why the video about why change of character doesn't work is because of the fact that change of character alone is pretty useless unless you are aligning it with the other of our concepts, right? Order flow, internal structure, substructure, trend. These things, they have to be in alignment with them. And so we understand that we have a bearish order flow, right? So reacting back to the supply that just broke this low has more, is the flow of orders in which the banks are positioning price in. So then we can see that price comes back to what? Our demand range. Here's the demand that caused it, pushes up, changes character, pushes down, and then creates another demand level. We tap our supply level, we break this demand level. This is the demand level that put in the highest point. Once we break this demand level, we can now see that we have realigned bearish. And more than likely, this low right here is gonna go. Now, if we look at it from a structure, we look at the low, the high, the lower low, and the lower high. We build liquidity in here, likely that we're gonna put in a new lower low. Now, from where will we put in the lower low? Well, if we look from the origin of the level, we'll see that we have our level of supply right here. This is the supply that puts the leg down that changes character. Price comes back up. We build liquidity to take. Another one of our concepts that are a must is liquidity to target. Very important concept. You can see we mitigate perfectly our supply. And from there, we can actually take out our lows down here, right? And then if we just play price, we'll see we have another supply level right here, another supply level right here. And if we just play price, you will see that that is a what? Change of character. Why? Because the supply level that has just put in a newly formed low has been broken, and that has left behind a demand level. Now, could we trade that? Here in our community at Prosperity Academy, we wouldn't be getting into those trades because there aren't the further confirmation and alignment that we personally need. And you can see we respect our demand level. We come and put in new highs. We build lots of liquidity. We tap back into a supply range. And then we explode, right? Now, we don't take out the highs. Well, we do, we liquidate them with a wick, but we don't actually close above them, which for us isn't a break of structure. And then we have our break of structure. So now we have our break of structure. Now we can understand, okay, well, the order flow has essentially shifted because the high that put in the low has essentially been broken. Break of structure. Here was our change of character. Here was our demand level that got change of character. Not enough confirmation for us to be involved in those areas of price, but nonetheless, still there was a change of character, and the break of structure has just come from this level. After the break of structure occurs, price continues. And we are still looking at the lows right here that have put in the high. Although, what have we done? Right, if we look up, we can see that here we have a demand level that takes out high. Change of character, right? When the demand level is taken out, that's our change of character. Does that mean that price is gonna go all the way down and take out these lows? No. Could it? Well, yes, it could. But does it necessarily mean that? Because if we actually zoom out, we'll see that internally we are moving in a bullish direction, but externally we are moving in a bearish direction. Again, a lot more keys to be added than just change of character, which is why we made the video. That's why we made the video on the last episode about why change of character doesn't work. It's not because change of character doesn't work, it's because people misunderstand the concept of change of character and where you can and cannot take trades based off of change of characters, right? So the only trade set up for us in this area would have been this, right? And of course, we don't actually take trades on this actual time frame. This is just for reference example of the concepts that meet our trading plan. Levels in here do not, right? These change of characters in here, these change of characters in here, this demand range out here, they don't meet what's required for us to take trades, and that just is what it is, right? Essentially, that is me explaining the change of character, explaining it in theory down below, and also explaining it here on the charts. And that's all there is to the change of character. So how I define a change of character is, simply put, if a supply level puts in a low, if a supply level puts in a lower low, and that supply level gets taken out by demand, that is a change of character, which simply means there are more buyers now than there are sellers. Price will increase. On the contrary, we have the change of character to the downside, which is a demand level that put in a higher high up here. A demand level that put in a higher high is broken, because we can see, right? We can see the demand level that put in this high right here. If we actually go and replay price here, play one candle, you can see, right, the demand range in here. I mean, at this point it is already mitigated. We still have our buy to sell wick. You can see, right, that this is the demand range that's just put in a new high. So if it was to get broken here, this low, then that would be a change of character, but it doesn't. It gets respected before going to put in a new high. And then this new high is now from this demand. And you just follow the demand, supply and demand. And now price puts in a new high, which is this demand. And then price breaks that demand. Right, where does it break from? This level of supply, hence the mitigation. If we drop down time frames, we don't just stick to one time frame, don't forget. And then the sell-off, right? And the eventual sell-off. And why did it melt so low? Why are people like, it was trending, like, why did it, what was the all of a sudden reversal? Well, if you just actually zoom out and understand it from a logical perspective, you'll understand that price has had its pullback into premium, and now price is ready to put in a new leg to the downside. It's very easy to understand if you understand how. Right, so yes, price had the temporary bullish, but that is just a pullback for the overall higher time frame bank's narrative. They want to take price lower, first and foremost, take price higher to mitigate positions and create levels of liquidity. Thank you guys for joining me in this video. If you did like the video, please do go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay up to date with all of the content that we are consistently posting on a daily basis. Please drop a like on the video if you did like it, and if it did